Good morning, everyone. Hello, and welcome to our brand new series of CATIA System Talks. Here we want to give you tips and tricks and insights about how to use the Dassault system tools for model-based systems engineering and help you apply to the tools. My name is Honorata Frinks, and my first guest today is Aistė ALEKSANDRAVIČIENḵ, CATIA Cyber Systems Industry Process Specialist. Welcome, Aistė.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. Aistė will demonstrate various approaches to you today of how to obtain requirements into a CATIA Magic system model when they are initially stored in external sources such as requirements management tools like ReqIF Files or even general software applications such as Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. After the demonstration, you will get the chance to ask questions directly to Aistė through the chat pane. So, Aistė, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorata. As you have introduced, today we will talk about various ways of getting the requirements into the model created with CATIA Magic software. When I say model, I have in mind a model of any modeling language that supports textual requirements. For example, SysML, UPDM, UAF, and so on. Although for this demo, I use a SysML model created with Magic Cyber Systems Engineer from CATIA Magic portfolio. First of all, let me explain the case. Requirements are quite often captured using some other software rather than CATIA Magic. It can be some requirements management tool like IBM Doors or even an Excel spreadsheet. Therefore, in order to relate the requirements to model elements that specify the system's architecture and high-level design, we have to get them into the model first. So let's begin with requirements import from a ReqIF file. I think here I must explain that ReqIF is an XML-based international standard for exchanging requirements between different software tools. It is standardized by the Object Management Group, or OMG, and is adopted by various tool vendors like IBM, Polarion, Dassault Systems, and many others. Here in the picture below, you can see the common workflow of getting the requirements into any CATIA Magic software using a ReqIF file, requirements inter-exchange file. First of all, you have to export the data from the software where they are initially captured and stored, and as a result, you have a ReqIF file that can be imported into CATIA Magic. Let me demonstrate how to do this. So let's say my original storage of the requirements is IBM Doors. Here I have the high level of abstraction requirements stakeholder needs. You can see them stored as objects in Doors module. So if I want to get them from Doors to Magic Cyber Systems Engineer, first of all, I have to export them into the ReqIF file. I have done this in advance to save the time, and I got this kind of file. Stakeholder needs with extension ReqIF. So all the data are now in my ReqIF file. Since my Magic Cyber Systems Engineer supports the same ReqIF format as Doors, I can take this data and have them in my Magic Cyber Systems Engineer. So what I do, I select File, Import From, Requirements Interchange Format File, and I select the file exported from Doors. And the notification tells me that the import is already done. So here are all the requirements imported. The table for representing the requirements is also created. I can add to it more columns to see, for example, the text of the requirement. I can hide unneeded columns and change the display mode to complete. Yeah, in order to see the hierarchy of requirements the same way that they are represented in the model browser. The table also has a legend that indicates the status of the imported requirements. Now they all are new, but if the requirements indoors has changed, so I need to re-export them and re-import them again into my Magic Cyber Systems Engineer. I have already done the second export, and now let me import the updated ReqIF file. Again, the procedure is the same. This time I'm selecting another file, and I can see the updates from the legend. Yeah, that one requirement has been updated. If the project is stored in the collaborative environment on the server, I can even compare the different versions of requirements to see what exactly has been changed. Yeah, so here you saw the import from IBM Doors, but let me repeat once again that the same workflow applies to every requirements management tools that support ReqIF. Another way of getting requirements into the model is synchronization. That is linking the data in some external software with the data in CATIA Magic. And here you can see. The external software, as you can see in the picture, can be IBM Doors, including next generation Enovia TRM, CSV format file, as well as any OSLC provider. To enable the synchronization, you must have CAMEA Data Hub plugin installed on the top of a CATIA Magic software you use. Then you have to establish the connection to the data source, specify the mappings between the elements, and select the data for synchronization. By the way, the mapping schema can be either predefined or specified on the very first synchronization. Now let me demonstrate how to establish a synchronization to Enovia TRM. But first of all, let me show you what data I'm going to get into my SysML model. So here you see the Enovia requirements, and there is a requirement specification with several chapters and leaf requirements. Okay, let's go back to my CATIA Magic software, and first of all, what I have to do before establishing the synchronization, I have to log in to my 3D platform. I have done this in advance. And then I have to connect to Enovia requirements. Here I have connected, and here I can see what contents, the same contents that I created in my 3DS platform, Enovia requirements. I'm going to take just one of two specifications, the system requirements, and synchronize its contents to my SysML model. Before the synchronization, I will show you the mapping schema, which was created in advance. So I go to Tools, Data Hub, and there is Schema Map Manager dialog. And here I can see the mappings. So here are the elements from Enovia requirements, and here are the appropriate elements, the mapped elements of Magic Cyber Systems Engineer. So the chapter, I can see that it is mapped to requirement, and the properties are also mapped appropriately. Properties, here are the properties at Anovia, and here are the properties at CATIA Magic. Requirement also is mapped to requirement, and the entire specification is also mapped to the requirement. So everything from Anovia will be imported as SysML requirement, as you can see from the mapping schema. Okay, let's close the dialog and let's do the synchronization. For the synchronization, I'm simply dragging the top level node that I wanna synchronize recursively to the appropriate package in my SysML model. And let's wait a little bit for the creating of the synchronization links. For the first time, it may take a little bit longer because the elements, the appropriate elements, should be created in the SysML model. Yeah, so I get the notification that the synchronization is done. And if I go to my model browser in CATIA Magic software, I can see all the requirements synchronized from Anovia TRM. And as you can see, the requirements has a small label S, meaning that this requirement is already synchronized. In order to represent them in more convenient form, I can quickly create the requirements table and set the package containing all the requirements as the scope for the table. Here, now I can see all the specification with grouping requirements and leaf level requirements and the hierarchy of them in the table. Synchronization can be both ways, as you can see in my screen, or just one way. That is from Anovia TRM or to Anovia TRM. It often happens that requirements in external software have more attributes than they can have in CATIA Magic software. We can see this here. There is the maturity state, priority, also difficulty. We don't have the same properties at CATIA Magic software. In such case, I recommend to customize the requirements on CATIA Magic side. This requires creating a profile, a stereotype with required custom attributes, apply it on requirements, update the mapping schema, and then, of course, synchronize once again to get those properties into your SysML model. One more way of getting the requirements into the model is, let me close what I don't need anymore. Yes, so one more way of getting the requirements into the model is simple copy-paste from Microsoft Excel. Although, as you can see in the picture, the bidirectional synchronization with the Microsoft Excel can also be established. But this time, I will show you just a simple copy-paste operation from the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. For this, you first of all need to create a table and make sure that the columns of the created table in CATIA Magic matches the columns of the Excel spreadsheet. Let me show you how to do the copy-paste. Okay, so this time I'm going to create subsystem requirements. So I start from creating a table. Requirements table. Here, by default, the table has two columns, name and the text. And in the Excel spreadsheet, I also have two columns, title and the description. Yeah. So I need to select the contents, press Ctrl C, Make sure I haven't selected the first row because it stands for the header, because otherwise the header will be imported as a new requirement, which I don't need. So Control C and Control V in my Magic Cyber Systems Engineer. Yeah, new elements, new requirements have been created in my model and also represented in the table. So if I repeat the copy paste once again, then there are some changes in the Excel spreadsheet. The existing elements will be overwritten. CATIA Magic recognizes that these data are the same by the requirement name and updates only the text and the other attributes if they exist. So I think that's all I wanted to demonstrate today. Honorata, do we have any questions regarding this topic?
We'll see. Thanks for the presentation, Aistė. So now you have the chance to ask questions if you like. You can type them simply into the question pane. And if you're watching us live in the CATIA MBSE Cyber Systems community, just use the chat function there as well to ask your questions. My question would be, I think you mentioned that there are more files that you can actually import into CATIA Magic, right? Can you name them again, just to be sure that we all got them?
Okay, not the files, but probably you mean the other software, yeah?
Yes.
So yeah, so IBM Doors, IBM Doors Next Generation, Polarion, Enovia TRIM, and ReqIF.
Very good. That's quite a lot.
Yes.
Let me check again for the community if I can see any questions here. So I don't. It seems to be clear to everyone. So if you don't have any questions, I would like to invite you to join us in the CATIA MBSE Cyber Systems community. You can see the link below in this window. You can just register if you are not a member yet. We are sharing tutorials here, tips and tricks, and a lot of other information that you can access easily. And what I would also like to share with you is the possibility to register to our symposium. So we have the MBSE Cyber Experience Symposium this year, again in Allen, Texas, in May. The registration is open, and if you are quick, you can still get the early bird tickets, which are available until end of next week. So as I don't see any more questions, Aistė, thanks a lot for this first CATIA Systems Talk. It was my pleasure to have you here today. And I wish everyone a pleasant day. Goodbye.
Yeah, good day and goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.